Be advised, the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, Philippines. Maayong gabi sa Tibok Mindanao, Visayas, ug sa Luzon. Maya pa bengi keka. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Ito po ang Republika. Ako po si Erik Espina. Bilang pagbibigay diin sa kahalagahan ng nagaganap ng usapang pagkapayapaan sa pagitan ng MILF at ng ating pamahalaan, ay magkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag na Part 2 dito sa usaping Islamic Substate. Kaya ang bibigyan natin ng pagkakataon na makausap ay ang mga tinig mula mismo sa Mindanao. Kasi mas mahalaga po talaga na sila ang ating matinig. At sa gabing ito, tayo mapalad na nakakuha na naman tayo at bumiyahe pa ito galing sa lugar niya. Walang iba kung hindi ang mayor ng sikat na lungsod. Walang iba kung hindi si Mayor Celso Lobregat. Buenas noches, Mayor.
Buenas noches, Eric. Maying gabi. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Si Eric nagbati kanina sa maraming dialekto o lengguwahe, pero hindi niya nasama yung lengguwahe ng Zamboanga, yung Chabacano. So, buenas noches con todo con ustedes desde la ciudad del Zamboanga.
Yan, kita. Kompleto na tayo dito. Mayor, lately, nung nabasa natin sa ating pahayagan, ni-reject ng MILF yung proposal ng GRP panel tungkol dito sa, at babasahin ko na lang, no? Ito ang in-offer natin sa MILF dun sa Kuala Lumpur. Political settlement with the MILF, massive economic development in Mindanao, cultural historical acknowledgement, at ang pinakamahalagang ibinibigay nila sa MILF ay yung expanded autonomy. Every time that government enters into a negotiation with the MNLF or the MILF, does Zamboanga City worry?
Yes, we are concerned. No?
Okay.
But let me state, first of all, that we definitely are for peace.
Oh, definitely.
We are for long-lasting and just peace. But we are not after appeasement.
Yes.
We want genuine peace. Now, actually, last May 17, Professor Marvic Leonen,
Yes.
and some of the peace panel went to Zamboanga for a preliminary consultation.
Malinaw yun, ha? Preliminary, ha?
Preliminary. Sabi nila, they even asked for a preliminary consultation because this was just a consultation that they wanted with the mayor and some of the members of the city council.
Okay.
So it is not a massive consultation.
Okay.
And so it was an executive session, and we held it at City Hall. And it lasted for more than 2 hours. And we really expressed to the peace panel, especially to the chairman, what are the sentiments? How do the people of Zamboanga feel, and what is the position of people of Zamboanga? And so, but they said that they will be coming back before the presentation of the government position. And that is why last August 15, I wrote Professor Leonen a letter, and I
have a copy of this letter.
And more or less in that letter, we were reminding Professor Leonen about what transpired on May 17, wherein he said that this was a preliminary consultation, And he also mentioned that the peace talks and if ever there's a final peace agreement will be within the realm of the Constitution. There will be no dismemberment of the Republic.
Okay.
And that they are committed to a genuine consultation and transparency. And he even mentioned that, this panel, the GNN panel,
Yes.
is very different from all the past panels, and that they will not commit the same mistakes as the previous panel. So I wrote that to him in the letter, reminding him of his stance and his commitment, and of course reminding him about the sentiments and the position of the people of Zamboanga. And we said we would like to be consulted before the presentation of the government position, because if they consult us after the fact that they already submitted, hindi na sila maka-atras. And there are certain things in the government position that more or less are objectionable.
Baka maipit ang government panel.
Yeah.
4 quick questions and 4 quick answers. Number 1, you used the word appeasement.
Yes.
The past negotiations, did you feel that the government was actually after appeasement rather than long enduring peace?
Yes, not only after appeasement. In fact, we were one of the local government units together with North Cotabato, Iligan, and Zamboanga City. We went to the Supreme Court.
Correct.
And we were the ones that asked for the restraining order. Not only for the restraining order, later we were asking that the MOA AD be declared unconstitutional.
I emphasize the word appeasement, Mayor, because I think that will be the operative word in the coming months and then while this negotiation. Secondly, based on what you said, Professor Leonen will say they will come back before they make the presentation.
Yeah.
When is this? Because
Actually,
the talks are already ongoing.
Yes.
And they have made the presentation.
Okay, so that's why I wrote that letter on the 15th. I sent it by email and fax. And I called him. I said, Professor, I have sent you a fax and an email. And so he received the fax, and then he answered. In 30 minutes.
Yes.
In fact, this is his answer. No, this is the same date, August 15. He says, "Thank you for your letter, which I confirm received today through this email and through fax to my office. I also confirm that you called me to verbally press your position and that of your counsel. I am fully aware of my commitments, and I will take the request into serious consideration. Let me inform you, however, that the inputs you made with the City Council during our last meeting were taken into consideration in drafting of the proposals. Please be assured that we remain true to our commitments."
Okay. Malinaw yan, no?
That's what is...
Okay, that's the tenor.
Yeah.
Okay, a third quick question is, during your talks with Professor John, he said, this is a different panel and that we will not commit the past mistakes. Did he ever mention to you what were the past mistakes of the other panels?
Maybe I think
or did
he
you
was
tell him?
I told him, but I think he was referring to the situation wherein the Supreme Court issued the restraining order and finally declared the MOA AD as unconstitutional. So I don't think, he said that they really don't want to have that situation, embarrassment or fiasco, if you want to call it. No?
Mayor, what other mistakes did the other panels make?
Well,
top of your head.
Well, there was really lack of consultation.
That's okay.
There was lack of consultation, and that is why when they wrote me a letter last May asking for a preliminary consultation, so I said, when I more or less agreed to it, I said, what type of consultation will this be? In the sense that, when you really have a mass consultation, you will be talking to a lot of people. But no, they wanted a preliminary with the city officials first.
Okay. You talked about prior consultation or consultation. In the past, when Zamboanga City was somehow included in the ARMM law or in the attempt to expand the ARMM, was there really a serious attempt by government from Manila to really consult with the people of Zamboanga and say, gusto nyo bang maging parte ng ARMM o ayaw?
No, like I said, many times it was a consultation after the fact.
Okay.
I will say that because during the SPCPD time.
Okay.
Actually, after the agreements on the SPCD were signed, then they went to Zamboanga.
Okay.
And so they announced it.
Okay.
So I said, oh, this is no longer consultation. This is just informing us what you did. You included us without telling us that we are going to be included in the SPCPD.
Doesn't this feel like conspiracy after the fact?
Yeah, it is. It is, like I said, and that has been our position. No?
Okay.
And that is why in the past, we have been very, very vigilant.
Okay.
In Congress and out of Congress. I have, well, during the time of my mother, if you remember.
Yes, of course.
The
Grand Lady of Zamboanga City, of course.
Tres Marias. No?
Yes, very close to my mother, yes.
My mother, then there was former Congresswoman Lou Antonino, who is now Secretary of Minda, and also former Congresswoman Daisy Fuentes, who became the governor and now is a congresswoman again. So then when I got into Congress, I reached in my first term. Daisy and Lou were in their last term, so it became the Dos Marias and one Dodong.
Yes.
And then when during the 2008, it was the three Dodongs. It was Manny Piñon, Lawrence Cruz, and myself.
But Mayor, let me ask you, you were in Congress. Do you feel sometimes there is a sense of frustration because how come people from Manila, the so-called administrators of Manila, they seem to always give in to the demands of the rebel groups, setting aside the feelings of the local people of Zamboanga itself, Zamboanga City?
Well, that has been one of the complaints, basically, of the past panels.
Why do you think Manila does that, or why do you think past administrations has done?
Well, they have. Everybody wants peace.
Okay.
And everybody wants peace within their administration. The administration of Arab, the administration of Ramos, the administration of Gloria, and now the administration of President Noynoy.
Yeah.
And we really want peace. And you know, when the president met with Murad in Japan,
yes.
of course, I think you and everybody else was surprised. We were surprised,
course.
but we said we were appreciative of the efforts of the president going an extra step, taking an extra mile to try to bring peace in Mindanao. And we were hopeful, as has been said, that the peace will come within his.
This was the jump start for the peace
term. But of course, we are concerned.
Yes.
No? We are concerned that the talks should be within the realm of the Constitution.
Yes, correct.
That there should be no dismemberment of the Republic. The MOA AD should not be used as a reference port or a jump-off point because it was declared unconstitutional. And of course, there is also the sentiments of the people of Zamboanga that they've already spoken twice in two plebiscites, voting 96% and 95% that we don't want to be part of the arm, the expanded arm, or in whatever form or whatever name.
Again, another series of questions. In your letter, you talk about transparency. Do you feel that transparency has been given to the people of Zamboanga City? Because right now, there seems to be, even the people within the administration, and even the supporters of the president, they're asking, give us something to support you and defend you with, because we don't really know the entire story. So, do you feel there is transparency in what is really going on?
Well, like I said, we don't know the contents of the government position.
And they should be open about this.
Yeah, okay. But then, when I called up Professor Leonel last Thursday before the 22nd, and asked and reminding him about this letter of the 15th. I think I called him again on the 18th, if I'm 18th or 19th. And he was saying that he was still in Malacañang. They were still finalizing the final draft. So it means to say at that point in time, it was not yet final. No? And so he was telling me that there would be very little time for him to fly and consult the people of Zamboanga or the officials of Zamboanga, but he gave us his assurance that our sentiments will be seriously taken into consideration when the draft was made.
Mayor, Zamboanga City is the actual stakeholder.
One of the stakeholders.
Yes, in the peace process. It just so happens that the people of Zamboanga City will not take up arms in order to make a stand. But don't you feel sometimes that in this case, government is somehow giving up too much to these people
let's put
just
it
because
this-
they are armed?
Okay. When the peace talks were being held in the mid-90s with the MNLF, the question was asked, why are we negotiating with the MNLF?
Yes.
And they said that they are the officially recognized representatives of the Bangsamoro people by the OIC countries.
Correct.
Okay?
Even up to this day, yes.
Okay, so, and then when the final peace agreement was signed with the MNLF, that was supposed to be the comprehensive, total, and final
Yes.
peace agreement.
Yes.
But of course, the MILF broke away from the, or MI broke away from the MN
MNLF, yes.
before that was signed.
Yes.
And now we have sort of like a similar situation because Umbracato sort of broke away from the MILF. And I
Yes.
think that is one concern that has been brought up or
In the peace talks.
in the peace talks. So what's going to happen? Assuming the government will sign a peace process again
Yes.
with the MI,
Yes.
what will happen to the next group?
Good question. Good question. So now, the Leonen panel offered the MILF what is called as expanded autonomy.
Okay, so
Does that give you a sense?
if you ask me, no, it's very hard to comment on something that we haven't seen
Correct.
in black and white,
Okay.
and that is why we've
We're
asked.
just concerned. As of now, concerned.
Yeah, and we've asked Professor Leonen to
spell it out.
come to his, keep up his commitment and come to Zamboanga
Okay.
after, no, and which I in fact I text him. I text him 2 days after the 22nd, the 24th, no, and so he texts back. I said, when are you coming to Zamboanga? He says he was still in Kuala Lumpur, and he will just finish Kuala Lumpur. Then he has to attend to other things, but he will come to Zamboanga by September.
Okay. Definitely, Zamboanga has had its fill of plebiscites.
Two at least.
Kapoy na.
Kapoy.
Too much. So, just in case Murad says we will include Zamboanga City, definitely we can expect.
Well, the
people will be
people of
against it.
Zamboanga will object.
Okay.
But if it is placed into law that there has to be a plebiscite, then okay, we will go into a plebiscite. We will say we don't want to go into that plebiscite anymore because we have already voted twice. 95% first plebiscite, we said 95% no and only 5% yes. And then if you want to join the arm, then in the expanded arm, it was almost 96% no and 4% yes.
Governor Manny Piñol says that's the problem with some of the people from Manila. They don't know what the real sentiments on the ground are. They have already rejected this. Why do they keep on pushing the provinces or cities that have already rejected joining an expanded arm, or maybe this is Islamic sub-state?
Well, the reason is they have to more or less negotiate for something, and that is why. But please, I said, and we don't include us, no.
Yes. Well,
Now, but the issue, in the last when we went to the Supreme Court, the parochial issue was okay. Zamboanga City did not want to be part of the Bangsamoro homeland, North Cotabato, neither Iligan.
Yes.
But aside from the parochial issues, it was the substance itself
Yes.
of the MOA AD.
Yes, of course.
And that was why it was declared unconstitutional.
Yes.
It went beyond. There would have been a real dismemberment of the Republic. So, even if they say, okay, we will not include Zamboanga, or we will not include Iligan, or we will not, but you have to really analyze what is in the content, what is the content itself of what is being offered.
Okay. Mayor Celso Lobregat of Zamboanga City will be right back and will be answering the question of whether how Zamboanga City will react such that the MILF is talking about basically the same substance of the MOA AD again being included as part of the peace talks when Republika returns. Nagbabalik po ang Republika. Ako pa rin po si Erik Espina. Kausap natin si Mayor Celso Lobregat ng Zamboanga City. The MILF has said that more or less the substance of the MOA AD is being included in the peace process.
Actually, one of the reasons why the three local governments really wanted the Supreme Court to come up with a decision, because when the hearings were going on, the government said that they will no longer push through, and so the government did not want the Supreme Court to make a decision. They said it was smooth and academic. Our position was the Supreme Court has to make a decision, because if they don't decide, if they don't declare the MOA AD as unconstitutional, it might resuscitate and it might be used for future agreements. So finally, the Supreme Court actually decided that the MOA AD was unconstitutional. So the MOA AD should not be used as a not even a reference point or a starting point or a jump-off point. That is our position.
I hope the good professor is listening. Mayor, give us a little profile of Zamboanga City. You have also Filipinos who happen to be Muslims in Zamboanga City.
But we are all...
Their sentiments are they're against also joining Islamic
in fact,
substate.
when the votation in the first plebiscite and the creation of the organic arm or the organic arm law, 95% voted no. That is, Muslims and Christians of Zamboanga voted no. In fact, even Marawi, in the first plebiscite, voted no. Even Cotabato City and even Basilan voted no. Okay. So in the second plebiscite, again, Cotabato voted no. Isabela City voted no. Basilan voted yes. Marawi finally voted yes. But so it is not whether you are Christian or Muslim that you are voting for or against the arm or the expanded arm. So it's the people should realize that everybody wants peace.
How come the constituents in Zamboanga City voted against a proposal supposedly made by their brothers?
For Zamboanga, you have to realize that we are a highly urbanized city. And to be inside the autonomous region would be, in a way, less autonomous. It is autonomy in reverse.
Yes.
Because you have another layer of governance in between.
Yes.
So the people of Zamboanga really
they're happy with
they're happy the way they are.
So
you cannot force them to join something that they don't want to join.
Do you feel, Mayor, you were a legislator before, do you feel that if ever there is a question that will be put to the public regarding an expanded ARMM or a sub-state, do you feel that the current members of the ARMM should be given a chance themselves to say, we don't want to be part of it anymore?
That was, when I was in Congress,
because it was always expanding.
That was one of the issues that we were espousing. That you are always saying,
expand,
expand, and ask the people outside of the arm to join the arm. We said, how about the people in the arm?
Would they like to get out?
Are they given the chance to say yes? Are they happy with the arm or no? In fact, that is the position, I think, of Governor Sakurtan of Polo.
He wants to get out of...
Yeah, and he's made it very clear. If it is left up to him,
he will get out.
Yeah, but of course, I don't know. I really don't know what the content is of...
Offhand, Mayor, do you think Governor Abdu Sakurtan would support an Islamic sub-state? Would he want his province to be...
I don't know, but I have heard him say openly that given the choice...
He'd rather go out of it?
Yes.
Okay. You have Filipinos who happen to be Muslims as your constituents. Is there really such a thing as a Bangsamoro problem? Or is it really just an MILF problem? Because that's what they're calling it. It's a Bangsamoro problem. Or is it because the MILF is the problem?
Okay. No, yeah, okay. During the MOA AD days, many of our Muslim leaders said that they have not given the power of attorney to the MILF to negotiate for them. They said they are happy the way they are. Now, and speaking about the time of the MOA AD, you know, I was given the rare opportunity to speak before the Supreme Court. It so happened it was providential, and you know, we made a documentary out of that. It says in defense of Zamboanga, Mindanao, the Constitution, and the Republic. It gives a background on the issue, going back to the SPCPD days, and more or less we also give our opinion on what next, because they're saying, okay, so the Supreme Court declared the MOA AD unconstitutional. So this more or less, because of that, the peace talks were stalled. So the question is, what next? No? And so I'll give this to you, and then
I'll be watching this. I'll be watching this very, very dearly, because this is what very close to my heart. Mayor, you're a veteran politician. You come from a political family. Maybe you want to be kind with your words, but with the way things are going, do you really still feel optimistic, or you just want to be hopeful in terms of the way the peace process is really going? Because they're asking for there are three operative words here, Mayor. Islamic, sub-state, plus their own constitution.
Yeah, but again, all of the sub-state is really not within our constitution.
Correct.
And another constitution, how can you have a constitution within a constitution?
And it has to be an Islamic sub-state. Can you imagine?
Yeah. So it is really, in a way, problematic.
That's the word you'll use for
yeah, because if Professor Leonen will be true to his words, that, again, he assured us it will be within the realm of the Constitution, there will be no dismemberment, and so how can the government grant what the MILF?
I'll use a Tagalog term. Parang langis at tubig ang nangyayari dito, and we're trying to put oil and water into one flask. I mean, can it ever happen that we're going to be able to really have the so-called peace? Or it is, again,
well, you can use the oil in the engine and then the water in the radiator.
Yes, correct. But I would like to be as hopeful and optimistic as you are. But you know, from where it's coming from, it's like oranges and apples, and I don't know.
But let's put it. We'll see how this panel.
How creative the panel.
Yeah, but you know, I hope they are not as creative as the last panel that they were even trying to convince us that it was not unconstitutional. No.
Mayor, who are the other voices in Mindanao?
Actually, you know,
because people from Manila and in the Visayas would like to hear. Who are the other voices that are quietly against this? And
you know, you have many sectors. You have, of course, you have the elected officials from all over Mindanao. Of course, you will not hear so much from, let's say, the people from Cagayan de Oro or North Davao, because they are not included.
They're not included.
They are fortunate that they are not included.
Until they are included.
No, I don't know. just like Lawrence Cruz, the mayor of Iligan.
Yes.
He thought that Iligan was not going to be included, and so he said, well, he will support, but he will just take a very, very passive support. But when he found out that Iligan was included, and that's the time,
when he went.
You know, so
you have your ears in Mindanao, close to the ground. How about the Dimaporos?
You know, it's very hard to speak
in their behalf.
In their behalf, it's better that you ask individually, because you know, I do not want to be taken out of context or to be more or less to be misquoting people. No? It's better that I have always followed that. That's I can only speak for myself and for the city of Zamboanga. I know what their sentiments are, and I have talked to other leaders in Mindanao, and they are also concerned. But as to their official position, it's best that you ask them directly.
It could happen that in a plebiscite that the size of whatever, an expanded ARMM or a sub-state, if ever it would happen, if you amend the Constitution or the Constitution is changed, that the area could decrease or could be reduced. Question is, will the MILF accept it?
Okay. Now, in the past, even in the MOAD, they were already talking about individual barangays.
Okay.
Now, under the local government code, I think even the Constitution, when you create a city or a province, it is the whole city or province.
It has to be contiguous.
That also that votes. You
Yes,
cannot
yes.
just say, okay, because one municipality voted yes, and the entire province voted no, that you carve out that municipality.
Yes, yes.
Or going down further, if you have one barangay, Zamboanga has 98
like
barangays.
gerrymandering, yes.
No? So it's just like, that is not allowed in our present law. So if ever there is a plebiscite, it should be based on the creation of a province or a city. If it is worse, it is a region or an entire different thing. So the votation should be based on by province or by city. That has been the way the past plebiscites have always been.
Isn't the situation highly problematic and it is reproducing a lot of uncertainties? What do you do with the MNLF? What do you do with the MILF? Is it government's responsibility to marry their interest? Or shouldn't it be, we should only be talking to one group, the one recognized by the OIC?
Now, that was the position of, when we asked, why is the government negotiating with the MN? They said they are the official guys, and there was a peace agreement that was
Now we're talking with the MILF.
So I don't know. I'm sure you had the chance to talk to Nur Miswari and the other members of the MNLF. What do they feel?
Do you see down the line, Mayor, looking into your crystal ball, the possibility that, oh my God, the government will talk to the group of Umbracato as the third force, just because they are armed?
No, and that's what you were asking. How far? When will it end? No?
Precisely.
When will it end? And so, no, that is something that the MI will also have to answer. The issue of Umbracato.
The group of Umbracato has put up the BIFF, the Bangsamoro Islamic Freedom Fighters. And yet, Iqbal, who is the chair of the MILF panel, says that up to this day, Kato defies or does not obey the MILF orders. So it is still a challenge of the Central Committee. In a sense, what they're saying is they cannot kick this guy out.
No, I don't want to answer for the MILF.
But right now, the position of Zamboanga City is wait and see.
Actually, we are very, very much interested to meet with our panel. When I say our panel, because it is the Philippine panel that is supposed to represent all of us.
Correct.
And so we are interested in, hey, what is our position? What is the position that you presented for us? No? And so we are eagerly awaiting to be informed. But, okay, from what I gather, okay, according to Professor Leonan, because I text him after the talks, he said that whatever was proposed was within the realm of the Constitution, and there was no dismemberment, and the position of Zamboanga was considered. So when he goes to Zamboanga, maybe you can call me up and I'll tell you.
Mayor, you're in touch with your own congressman.
Yes, but with Congresswoman Beng Timaco, the Deputy Speaker, and also Congressman Irby Fabian of the 2nd
and
District.
you have a consolidated position.
Yes, and in fact, Congresswoman Beng Climacos, the Deputy Speaker, called a caucus of the Mindanao congressmen before the submission. I think they were briefed. They were briefed by Professor Leonen. They had a chance to be briefed. But of course, according to Professor Leonen, they cannot really, protocol-wise, they cannot let out the position of the Philippine government before it is presented. They cannot present it now on a final form because, again, it might leak out or, that is not the way the negotiations go, according.
Not even on executive session?
Well, I don't know if they were really shown because when they were briefed, that was before I called him up on the Thursday before he went. And that Thursday he said that the final position was not yet final.
According to the papers, it is still a work in progress.
Yeah, well, it will be a work in progress in the sense that negotiations will be going on. This is the MILF position, this is the government position. So in negotiations, you try to come closer to. So one side will agree, or the other side will agree. No? But what we're saying is whatever agreement is made, it should not be appeasement, and it should be within the realm of the Constitution, no dismemberment of the Republic, and we really don't want to be part of the arm or the expanded arm or the Bangsamoro juridical entity or the Bangsamoro homeland or now the Bangsamoro substate.
Okay. I'll ask you, Mayor. Let's assume Zamboanga City is not part of the MILF Islamic substate under the Caliphate of Murad. That's the way to describe it.
Okay. It's not,
Caliphate Murad. Now, Zamboanga City is a neighbor of that Islamic substate. How do you feel if right across your border you have an Islamic substate?
Well, that was, like I said, that was the reason why we wanted the Supreme Court to declare the MOA AD unconstitutional, because there were certain things in the MOA itself that, they were
pushing for.
No, and the government was willing to give already. The air, the fluvial, alluvial, what is underground, what is on the air. It's like saying, hey, Zamboanga City is here, but all the seas was going to be given
to them.
Yeah, so we were saying, what is this? And so that is one of the things that has to be discussed. No, there are many issues. Let's say like the security issue, like the sharing of natural resources. I hope they talk about this armament.
Yes, of course.
Because that is one of the, let's say,
the mobilization
flaws,
and disarmament.
Yes, flaws of the other of the peace agreement with the MN. There was nothing that was talked about concerning this armament demobilization.
Mayor, you're a very effective executive in your area. How are you able to run? You're the best proof that you can have Muslim Filipinos, Christian Muslims. What's the secret?
No, in Zamboanga, really, the Muslims and Christians have lived in peace, in harmony, and unity with each other. We have always stressed that what we should focus on, what we should concentrate on is what unites us.
Correct.
We are all Filipinos, and those living in Zamboanga are all Zamboangueños. There should be no discrimination in terms of services, in terms of priorities. And I believe that is the way you should look at the problem in the arm.
Correct.
A province or a municipality should be prioritized and assisted not because that province is predominantly Christian or predominantly Muslim. It is because that province, that municipality needs help. It's one, and perhaps it's one of the poorest or the most neglected, then why not? But if you now start injecting other things like race, religion, color, ethnicity, then you will always have a problem. No?
Okay, well, on that word, too bad we don't have more time, we'd really like to thank Mayor Celso Lobregat. We heard it the past 2 episodes, some voices from Mindanao who has to be heard here in Manila and all over the Philippines because this is a very important part of our country. Marami pong salamat, Mayor Lobregat.
salamat.
I hope this will not be the last time.
Yeah, just call me and if I can, I'll fly over.
One of the better executives, the best proof that you don't have to be a Christian or a Muslim to be able to run a city, or for that matter, maybe provinces. No? Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you.
And as always, I keep on reminding our public, magmasid, makialam, higit sa lahat po ay manindigan sapagkat wala pong magmamahal sa Pilipino kung hindi ang Pilipino. Ako po si Erik Espina, daghang salamat, maayong gabi kaninyong tanan. Okay.